Throughout the summer, Atlanta protesters called out the name of Breonna Taylor during Black Lives Matter marches. The grand jury announcement was watched closely by so many throughout Atlanta today. 11 Live's Doug Richards has more on the reaction.
The indictment of one officer in Louisville on a comparatively minor charge isn't sitting well with Atlanta activist Teos Wynn.
Today, people feel as though justice was not delivered. It was not an adequate initiation of justice for the incident at hand. And so I think that we have to go further.
Was there probable cause to bring criminal charges against any of these officers for defending themselves? Absolutely not. They were fired upon. They had every right to return fire.
Mike Pugliese is a former Gwinnett County police officer who now practices law in Snellville. Pugliese says police officers are taught not to fire blindly without a visible target. He says the indictment of one officer for wanton endangerment was a justifiable indictment.
So many people are turning to social media to share their thoughts about former Officer Hankinson being charged and what he was charged with. Some saying the officers were justified in their actions that night and should not face consequences. Others completely outraged and demanding harsher charges against all three. Big names are reacting to the announcement as well. Bernice King tweeted that she is praying for Breonna Taylor's family because they knew and loved her before her name became a hashtag. And Reverend Raphael Warnock, a candidate in the upcoming special election for Georgia U.S. Senate seat, tweeting that this was a gross negligence of justice. He says we will not have justice for Breonna Taylor until all officers involved are held accountable. 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks, and we want to hear what you're saying about Breonna Taylor and the indictment that came down tonight. We have a lot of you are learning more about this investigation as the day goes on and the grand jury decision. Once you get your feelings and gather your thoughts, go ahead and send us a text with your comments, 404-885-7600.